The ruined keep is far away over the mountains. Rain continues to fall, but the clouds have raced away from the sun, and its rays strike through the rain, creating splashes of bright white. The heated disk of the sun burns brightly overhead as dark mist pours from its edges, forming a burnt aura. The jungle has fallen silent around the party, as every creature was caught in a heartbeat that has changed the world. The aftershock of the heartbeat resonates in each party member, bringing a sudden sweat with the heat and a sickness that rises in each of you. Zaymar and Harathir, you find your vision blurred by darkness, bright sunlight obscured by rising mist, as if your eyeballs are covered in dirt. Adalbert, you are blinded by black mist. The mask you carry in your satchel is emitting so much that it's pouring up over your face. Alithia, all around you there is shadow and black mist curling out. From the ground, from the trees, and as you saw, from the sun itself. The panic and fear in the jungle around you is palpable, as everything living crouches and hides, covering its eyes, pulling into crevices to escape the inescapable. Samita, you were first to see the after effects of the heartbeat and first to recover, seeing Zaymar and Harathia wreathed in shadow ahead of you, bright rays of light blinding you in places, and the dark shadows of the jungle around you emitting the mist you have become wary of. And that is where we will pick up the session in initiative order, beginning with Samita.
My look is at the two that are pouring out the most mist.
Mentioning their names.
Do I have any way, perhaps through any knowledge of the arcane or anything else, to try to assess, especially how they are doing? Like, do they look like they're being controlled, or are they still themselves underneath?
Roll Arcana.
Okay. That is a...
We're fine. Nothing to see here.
that is a 14.
It looks to you as though this sudden pouring of mist has made them surprised, shocked, and a sickness that you feel yourself appears to be coursing through their body to a stronger degree. So they're not controlled, but they are suffering from this sudden onset of a lot of corruption.
Okay. Then I will walk towards Zaymar, and I will put out a hand and attempt a spell. Would you like me to say it out loud or tell you only?
That's up to you. It depends.
Okay. I will tell you. It is...
Magic missile. Sorry.
Yes, just in the face. So let me just copy paste the description here for you. And obviously I need to see if I can actually perform the verbal component.
Interesting. Okay. So make the roll. You'll need to do 2 rolls. You'll need to do the initial one with the spellcasting modifier, which is currently at disadvantage.
Yeah. Regarding the talking modifier, have I had any successes yet, or does that not matter to my current roll?
You have, and the DC has gone down as a result.
Okay. This one was normal. Only a 10, however. So I think that fails, right?
Yes. However, under these circumstances, attempts will count as reduction of DC as well as part of your practice.
Okay.
So you move forward. You start trying to cast a spell. Your hand motions are perfect, but the verbal component fails.
Okay. That's my turn.
Okay. So this is initiative order from last session. So after Smita comes Alethea.
Oh. Okay. So there's a lot of mist, and my D&D Beyond is not working. Hold on. Fine. Who? Okay. Shit. Who looks like the most misty?
Actually, right now, it's a bit like looking at two lakes and going, which is the bigger lake? They're so similar that it's hard to say.
Okay. Fine. Is the mist coming from anywhere specifically, or just like my friends?
Imagine that every surface of them is emitting mist, but it is particularly coming from orifices and any shadowed areas, so armpits and things like that.
Holy shit. Fine. Right, I'm gonna turn to Adalbert and say, Bertie, take off your mask. I'm going to help you. And then I'm going to hold a sacred flame to hit the mask when he takes it off.
Okay. So trigger, hold, sacred flame for when Adalbert drops his mask. All right. So we're rolling round to Adalbert, but shortly before we do so, there is a rumbling in the ground, and you can feel the ground, which did react to the initial heartbeat, and everything rose up as you have experienced in previous heartbeats. The entire ground is shaking slightly, and around you, cracks are beginning to form, particularly beneath Zaymar and Horatia. It's now your turn, Adalbert. You're muted.
Yeah, sorry. Do I get the idea that Elith is going to try and set fire to my mask if I throw it at her?
She just asked you to drop it, and then sort of raised her hands holding some kind of arcane magic. So you've got a feeling she doesn't tend to release something gentle or pleasing. So it's probably violent.
I'm gonna death glare at him. That's allowed.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Well, hopefully I can do these. I'm not sure if I can do these at the same time. But because I kind of see it pouring all around me, I'm going to cast Resistance to Corruption on myself.
Okay.
And because that's an action, is kind of reaching the bag and throwing another action.
You can drop items for free. It depends. There's a kind of grey area between the free actions and then trying to do something difficult. So if something is difficult, then I'd start talking about it as an action. But it depends what you want to do with the mask exactly.
Well, take it out of my bag and throw it on the floor in a direction that kind of puts me in the way of Alethea trying to explode it, or do whatever she wants to it.
So I've put up. You can see the.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at the moment you're all clustered together. Let me know if you wanted more gap between you. By the way, I just threw down these tokens, but is everyone happy with where they started?
Fine.
I'm happy, but I suspect other people won't be happy to be right next to me.
I think it's reasonable to be within 5 feet of each other.
Yeah. I was at the back, wasn't I?
You were together with Samita, who just moved forward to try and cast a
Oh,
spell
yeah,
on
that's right.
Zamar.
That's right. Yeah.
And then Baha is taking up the rear of the party. Bran is
Can I be on the
off in the
opposite
woods somewhere.
side? Can I? Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
There. That's perfect. Yes. I like.
All right. So, Adalbert, did you want to put the mask, say, here?
That's quite close to Ellie. Can I put it kind of halfway between Harathia and Zamar?
Sure.
You want to put yourself in between.
Yes.
Yes, you can drop it down there as a free action. Yeah, I think that's
Yes,
simple enough.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Cool. Can I let it go? Is my aim gonna? Yeah, it's a deck save, isn't it?
Yeah, Oh, thanks, guys. He heard about this competition for highest chatter, and he wants the highest subber.
Obviously.
Thanks, Kevin. Yes, you can. So that's a deck save. So there's no deck save from a mask. It doesn't dodge. It just hits the ground and rolls slightly. As it does so, you can see during its entire trajectory that black mist was coming out of it. And when it hits the ground, it's kind of pouring out from each rune that's engraved in the mask itself is emitting mist at the moment. And then you sacred flame it.
Yeah. 2d8. Oh, that's not very. Oh no, actually, that's. Oh no, I thought they were ones, but actually, it's double sevens. Yay!
Okay, roll perception. Actually, I need Adalbert to roll perception as well. So, Alithia perception first.
Oh, you meet at perception.
Yeah.
Nope. That's an 11.
11. After you cast a spell, you feel concerned about something. There's something worrying you at the back of your mind, but you can't identify it yet. Adalbert?
13.
18?
13.
13. Some kind of movement catches your eye to the north of where you are. But you don't quite see what it was. You just sort of glance over in that direction, but you miss it. You just know that something disturbed your vision in that direction. You cast a spell. You now have resistance to corruption.
Can I very quickly check, Simon?
Yeah.
What direction is north?
Whenever I say like northeast, southwest, I mean map north.
Perfect.
Technically, that's actually west, but that would be very confusing. Well, I'd find it confusing anyway.
In the east. I mean, I thought Rogerton was sort of north of Trillium, is it not?
And Rogerton is almost directly west. It's actually west northwest. But
I got people who deal with directions for me.
yeah. All right. After Adalbert, the cracks that I mentioned before that were forming in the ground, they break open in a sudden rumble beneath the feet of Harathia and Zamar. So I need you to both make a dex saving throw.
This is the point where I fess up that I forgot my dice. But is it okay to use the roller in D&D Beyond? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you'll have to because you don't have any dice.
But, I mean, no, you could roll for me.
Oh, true. Yeah, true.
You know.
No, that's fine.
Okay. So dex save, right?
Dex saving throw.
Yeah.
Ooh.
No, that's not too bad. So with the modifier 19.
19. So, Alithia, the Sacred Flame hits the mask and it doesn't actually tarnish the mask. The instant that it hits, you understand that it's a magical item. So it's it's immune to a lot of damage, including the Sacred Flame. There's a brief eruption of light, but the mist itself is not affected by your Sacred Flame.
Oh no!
So apart from sort of the damage that the mask might have taken if it wasn't magical, there's no effect.
I don't want to damage it. I want to stop the mist.
I know. Sorry, what did you get, Horatia?
19.
19.
I got 12.
12. Okay, so Horatia, you seeing the rumble, you sort of dive out the way. I am going to move you, even though it's not your turn. And the same goes for Zamar. You're sort of tumbling to one side as well, but you're a bit slower than Horatia, caught off guard, and you fail. And you're sort of holding onto the edge of a black pit that has formed beneath you.
I was wondering when things would get better.
Simon,
Yeah.
Just wait till you have to do a perception check, then you'll be really screwed.
Yes, Adalbert.
Sorry.
is this a pit as in a chasm in the ground?
Yeah, so a crack has formed, and a chasm has opened up beneath Horatia and Zamar. And it's still... So time in 5th edition is weird because everything's supposed to be happening concurrently. So doing this kind of environmental effect is quite tricky, but essentially, as time passes, this crack has been bursting open. And as it does so, black mist is pouring out. So that's why I've used this sort of black disc, because it's actually turned into effectively an area of effect of mist there.
And have I just launched my mask down a pit?
Unfortunately, yes.
Wonderful.
Oh dear, nightmare.
So we roll around to Zamar. Oh no, yeah, Zamar.
Brilliant. Okay, so oh bloody hell. Okay, well, the first thing I'm going to do is to try to climb. Zamar's pretty freaked out. He's going to be like scrabbling at the edge and going to try to roll out of the like the pit.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's pretty much, yeah. Just
So
gonna,
half
roll
movement
out,
to get out.
Yeah, I think so. Let me just ask you a quick question, actually.
So Horatia, you're up after Zamar. So have a think about what you want to do.
So when I get up, I'm just like scratching it, like just brushing at my hands, and I sort of like stumble away and then roll and sort of like dive away from the crack, and just sort of stumble backwards, sort of like with my hands back up in the air, and sort of like push myself away back into the jungle. But like he's looking around like really wild eyes, if you could see him. Doesn't know what to do at this point. Absolutely. Like for the first time, like quite confused, like with exactly what to do. So.
Okay. Are you going to use stealth to hide, or what's the final action from that?
I think I would try and no, I don't think I'm going to try and use stealth to hide. I'm just sort of pushing myself away back into the sort of the trees, looking around. I'm just like right now, all I can see is darkness and mist around me, so I have no idea what's going on. But I don't want to like hide from the others at all. But I don't want to be near them at the same time.
Okay. So roll Dex for getting out of the pit.
Okay. That's better this time. 17.
Okay. All right, cool. So you've done that, and shortly after you is Harathia.
All right. Having nimbly avoided the pit, Harathia is sort of looking around, but mainly sort of further up the road. And he sort of shouts out, "Oi, Bron, where are you?" Meanwhile, I mean, not meanwhile, but we can see the sun, you said.
Right.
And there are lots of shadows around, and it just seems odd that we've got this shadow, effect going on, and now we've got bright sunlight. So what does it actually look like?
So everywhere, if you imagine a normal path through the jungle with heavy trees on either side, the sun is bright and creating an angle because it's quite late. It's just after 4 in the afternoon, so it's dipping down over the mountains. So you've got an angle of light on one side of the path, which is all normal, and then the shadows that creates emit mist. So anywhere that is naturally shadowed is now emitting a mist.
All right. So it's sort of on the sunny side, it's all fine and dandy, but unusually sunny, and then on the other side, it's like billowing mist.
Yeah, the mist that's coming out of just natural shadow in the jungle is more of a faint wisp. The billowing is coming from you and Zamar.
All right. So have I got any sense of where Bron is? I mean, I sort of meant for him to skirt everywhere, but he seems to just go up ahead. Can I hear anything? Any indication I know where he is?
So in reaction to your shout, you hear a snarl back from the distance. So I'll zoom out so that you can see the approximate location. But
Okay.
so he's about. Sorry.
Okay, we sort of like, right. Okay, well, I can see the token now. But
So
all right, cool.
just to also describe the location you're in, this area here is a dirt. I'm trying to see where you can actually see my mouse. This is a dirt track that winds around on a slope. So this area here is actually a steep slope. So Zamar, you're backing up. Yeah, you're actually backing up a hill.
That's fine.
And the road continues here, although it's really a dirt track, and then bends in a corner around here and heads off in this direction. Further over here, this sparse area here is a dirt rocky outcrop covered in pine and some palm trees and things. So this is actually quite high. It's like, especially here, is more like a 20-foot height, and then it gets lower here because you're on a hill descending the mountain at the moment.
Right, it's this pretty steep hill. Okay.
Yeah.
God. Anyway, so Rather says, "Get here."
All right.
That's what he's going to do.
Okay. So, Samita.
Okay. First, the question that I sent you on Discord. And how much time does it take for me to do that particular thing? Oh, oops, I wrote the wrong name, but I think you understand me.
Yeah. That takes no time. That's
Okay.
the same as, yeah.
Okay. Okay. In that case, I will frown after Zamar, who kind of, fell and then scurried away, but turn towards Harathia and attempt the exact same spell again, because I just found out it has a 120-foot range. So I will, follow the same hand symbols again, and once again attempt to cast that spell. So we'll roll for the verbal components.
Okay.
Ooh, that is a 15.
Nice. You succeed.
Okay.
So
And
roll for
then-
the spell itself.
Yes. That is a... I rolled a 10, unfortunately.
10. Give me 1 second. All right. Zamar, you were suffering from.
Sorry, I targeted Harathia just in case.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Good interruption.
Sorry, Zamar.
Good interruption. Harathia, you were feeling a sickness that I described in the opening dialogue, and after Samita finishes casting a spell with her snake tongue, you no longer feel that sickness.
Was he aware she was casting a spell?
Yeah, I think pretty much we can assume all characters are aware, broadly speaking, what people are doing.
He was pretty distracted and focused on getting Bran back.
It's up to you.
I'm going to say that he didn't realise that Samita was casting the spell, so he's sort of. Well, obviously he's probably quite pleased that he doesn't feel sick, but he's sort of looking around. Yeah, I mean, I can say little things, can't I, outside of my turn?
Yes, yeah.
Like, well, I feel better.
And following that, because my koto is my spellcasting focus, so maybe it even came with a tiny bit of music, but she will play an actual tune to inspire Adalbert, to provide some of that magical inspiration so you get a D8 to add to a skill check attack roll.
All right, so there's a ding ding sound from Samita.
I try to make it as tense as possible, to still a sense for the dramatic. It just needs to be a little, high energy.
Well, that's going to really puzzle Harathia. What?
Why are you playing music to me to the fact that I got better?
Yeah.
All right, Samita, also roll. Actually, are you moving?
No, I was planning on staying exactly there because, okay. Well, I would like to take one step away from the giant hole in the ground to stand next to Alethea.
Right.
Yeah.
So roll perception.
Okay. That is a 16.
The rumbling from the crack in the ground that became this pouring of black mist. You can sense other tremors going on, and you have a feeling that something is happening northwards of you. So you sort of glance over in that direction, and just through the angle of the trees, you see a flash of red that seems to be heading in your direction.
Okay. Yeah. Do I still have time to communicate anything, or is that my whole turn?
Yeah, you can also say something. Yeah.
Just a yelp and the music ends and just a yelp and pointing exactly at what I just saw coming, and then that's it. Okay,
so I will say that unless you choose, all of you, to ignore what Samita just yelped, you can also see this flash of red heading rapidly in your direction.
And that's the end of my turn.
Okay, so next is Alethea.
Oh shit! How far away is the flash of red?
When I say rapidly, it's going to hit within 2 people's turns. Actually, no, okay. It's going to hit next. So it's hurtling towards you.
And how big does it look?
As it grows in size, you realize this is going to be pretty serious.
So is it like, is it more than 30 feet?
It's hard to say. Just to give you a sort of visual, you have to look through trees. You've got this bright sunlight coming over. Actually, no, it'd be in your face because you're facing west. And the shadows are all full of mist. There's a lot going on visually, and then just through the trees, you can see this glow of red, and it's rapidly hurtling towards you.
Okay. Fine. How deep is the crack in the ground?
You don't know. It's covered in mist. You can't see downwards anymore.
Can't see shit.
Yeah.
And I know that the mask has gone in there.
Yes.
Oh, what do I do?
Thanks, Literary.
Can't do anything for it. Like, this is really hard. Fine, because I did realize that it was covered in mist because that's ruined what I was going to do originally. Fine. I'm just going to do what I want to do, like what I feel like Alethea would do, just dumb AF. So
It's done you well so far. Yeah.
Okay. So,
there is one thing I would recommend you not doing, but I'm not going to say what it is. I'll just let you play.
It's going to be it, you know.
It just occurred to me the worst thing you could do, but yeah, go on.
I think I want to do the worst thing though. Okay. I tell you what I'm going to do. I am, because I know Adalbert is kind of, following me. I say, Bertie, shall I jump in the hole and try and make the radiant energy of the gods come from me? If you tell me yes, then I will. And that's my trigger.
That's a good trigger. I like that. That is using a trigger for what it should be. Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's really...
Abdicating responsibility.
Yup.
No, not in a bad way. That's good.
All right. I'm now going to try something which I did in a practice run. Let's see if it works.
Oh God.
So I'm just going to briefly turn the map off. It worked. Nice. Okay. So after Alethea's turn, there is a loud crack again of ground moving, and a crevice hurtles by you. In fact, very close by you. So both Alethea and Samita, you happen to be standing exactly where it comes through. Somebody remind me to roll initiative for Baha as well to make sure I don't forget him. So both Alethea and Samita, you need to roll a dex save to avoid this. Luckily, you weren't directly in front of it because the reason it's red, there's lava pouring out of this crack, and the entire jungle north and south of your position and further on, where Bram is now broken in two with a crevice with lava pouring out.
Shit. Lava will kill me. Big money.
I rolled a dirty 20.
Nice.
That wasn't so bad. Hold on. That's a 16.
16. All right. So both of you scramble away from this as it arrives. Alethea, you heard a shout from Samita just moments ago. You looked over in that direction and you saw this thing coming, and you tried to work out what it was, and that just gave you enough to dive out of the way. And Samita, you were first to spot it, so you kind of you also saw it coming and managed to get out of the way. As soon as it goes past you, there's now a crevice in the ground with this lava. It is super hot. You can feel the heat radiating from the lava that's there. And everyone roll intelligence.
I choose not to.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Again, a dirty 20 for me. 18 plus 2.
Nice.
21.
Nice.
15.
17.
17.
I can't believe the smartest person. Roll the least.
All effort on the map, though. Just like, that's epic.
Yeah.
There's more going through my
I've been
mind.
busy today.
But
That's amazing.
also, like, that map must have been pre-generated where that crack was going, which is...
It was.
Oh my god, that's
When I
brilliant.
said, is anyone going to move, I was like,
It's gonna be
it's better if you don't, but sure, go.
Bloody hell. That's good.
Yeah, that was funny. However, Samita and Alithia, because of your proximity, you do have to take a small amount of damage.
No. Okay.
This is fire damage. So, Alithia, you take 4, and Samita, you take 8.
Half
Okay.
my points. No, I'm joking.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, Samita does not look so good.
Really?
Mm.
Already?
Samita is looking
I'm
scolded.
No longer
Sorry, go on, Adalbert.
the same. I'm no longer the little,
Squishy boy.
body sack.
Well, even though Samita did change clothing and was dressed for the occasion, she does look like someone who's more used to the court than the wilds. Yeah, so you've got nasty burns on your arm and along your side. All right, so that was the crack. So I will quickly do. So that's and so and
I think dress for the occasion would have been some sort of asbestos suit or something.
Bahar is standing slightly away from the crack, obviously. He also takes some damage. And he's got his longbow ready, just in case. Alright, so we're back to... That was... Yeah, Alithia, you just had your turn, so Adalbert, it's your turn. So you've just been asked a question by Alithia.
Yeah, I have. Now, going back to what you said before, DM, around the fact that all of this is happening at the same time. Obviously, when I dropped the mask, there wasn't a giant crack in the ground, and that's happening currently with it falling. So while there's kind of black, have I been able to kind of track the mask?
The mask, when the crack appeared, fell. And as I said, the crack is billowing, more billowing mist. So you can't see down it. The mask is down there somewhere. However, I did ask everyone to do an intelligence check and then forgot to give you anything from it. So
Fire is hot.
that's why it was such an easy DC.
Lava burns you.
It's fairly obvious that these cracks came from the precise direction of Rogerton.
Well, I had planned with Samita's, little riff. It's going to be a he's going to dive, catch the mask, roll over. It was going to be wonderful. But the fact that I can't see it kind of puts an end to that. Um,
Can I burn a reaction?
Yes.
So do I see Adalbert do anything?
He, for a brief millisecond on his turn, it looks like he's trying to decide what to do.
Zaymar like shouts out, and you just see a misty hand sort of let forward. It's on the ledge, and it sort of like gestures to the point that's just sort of pointing just below the edge of the lip.
There you go.
Can I kind of see it now? As in, not see it, but visualize.
You can use a perception. So you can use an action to do a perception roll and just try and see it.
No, I want my action to dive in after it. I can't wait another 6 seconds. No. I think he's going to turn around, kind of glance at Ellie and say, "It's not worth it." Misty step across to Baha.
What's the range on that?
I think it's 30
Okay.
feet.
5, 10, 15, 20. Where do you want to be?
Puma can be just behind him.
That's lava, but do you want to be down here?
Misty step into lava.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
And because he was scalded, wasn't he, by the lava?
Yes.
Burnt slightly. Can I just go, "Are you okay?" And heal wounds. Oh no. Yeah. Heal wounds.
Humans.
Heal wounds, yeah.
Do you want to roll the cure?
That is 12 points of healing.
At this stage, Baha has no physical damage. It's more sort of the general fighting HP. But you do heal him back up to full. And he gives you an appreciative nod. He's looking serious and facing down the rear of the party, so he's businesslike at the moment. But he does give you a nod. So Bran is after Zaymar, and Baha is after Samita, but he's holding at the moment. Okay, out of the mist, there forms a shadowy figure rising up in the air, hooded. You can see two bright spots of light from where the eyes would be that look exactly like the eyes that you saw in the Tower of Derain. And the figure rises up, moves its hands and arms out into a spread gesture and screams. Everyone roll a Constitution saving throw.
Ooh.
Just thinking it was time for things to get a bit better.
16 for Reyna.
16, okay.
Constitution.
16 for me too.
Okay, that is quite possibly... 19.
Okay. 19.
12. Out of there.
12. Alright. Right here.
Where's Bran, by the way?
Yeah, you can't quite see him on the map. I'll just move,
okay.
shift it over a bit. He is there.
Right, that just means he hasn't had his turn. So, yeah.
He is after Zaymar.
Right, okay, I got 8 then.
8.
Heat.
Okay. Baha. Braun. All right. As she screams, there is a tugging sensation that you all feel, as if something inside you is being pulled towards her. Some of you fight it off, grimacing and with as much fury as you can muster. Some of you are distracted, I guess. So, Horathia, you take a 2 points of necrotic damage. And Adalbert, you take 6 points of necrotic damage. And as she screams, you hear the sound of 3 calls from deep down inside the pit. It sounds like dogs. Dogs.
This is turning into a great day. Who's going?
Yours.
Okay.
You didn't want that answer, did you?
Not really. Zaymar essentially looks up at this thing bursting out of the ground and just feels an intense anger, and he looks at the mist that is pouring out of him and sort of shrugs it off, and then clicks his ring and then throws a javelin at this thing.
All right, roll to hit. So everyone sees the gesture from Zaymar, and then this crackling javelin appear in his hand, and then released in a smooth action. The javelin is deeply corrupted.
I know, but so am I. I'm like,
I know.
With mist.
I just wanted to finish the description.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yes,
that's all right.
I have no idea whether this is going to work or not, or whether it's just going to piss it off. Oh dear, oh dear. He's just really annoyed right now.
It doesn't strike me as a sort of happy soul anyway, so piss it off.
The cry sounded really despairing, actually. So you would be correct. Happiness is not. It's not full of joy. That's for sure.
The sun has got his hat on. Not.
So what am I doing? Rolling to hit?
Yeah, it's a dex because it's a missile weapon. There's no bonuses from the item itself.
I'm going to have to use a luck roll on that one. Okay, that's better. Right. Okay. So let me just mark on. Drat. I may come to regret that later. Okay. So that was. So it's just basic dex, is it? In that case,
yeah. Well, unless you're proficient in javelins.
Javelins. I don't know if I'm proficient in ranged in simple. I don't know. I've got. Yeah, I don't know what I'm proficient in.
Go to features and traits. It should tell you.
Yeah, I'm just looking at that.
No, is it?
I've got weapons: crossbow, hand, longsword, rapier, short sword, and simple weapons.
It is a simple weapon, so you're proficient.
Okay. All right. Okay. I don't know what that means. Does that mean I add my proficiency to it?
Yeah, so dex plus proficiency. Yeah.
Okay, so that's 19 right now.
You hit.
I mean,
she doesn't
right next to it, though.
Exactly, and she doesn't try and avoid, and also the javelin seems to. Well, we'll see. So roll 3d8.
D8 now. Oh, I do it. Right. Okay, 3D8. 1, 7, and 4. So that 1, 0, 4. It's 8, 12. 12 points.
That was a roller coaster, wasn't it?
It was.
Sorry, how much damage was that?
I mean, it could have been an 8 just for extra, you know. Yeah, 12 points damage.
12, okay.
Sadly below average, I believe.
3d8, 13.5, yeah, slightly. Any movement?
Yeah, I'm going to back away behind the tree.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
That tree just to the south of me. Yeah, I'll just back away behind the tree.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what I'll do.
Right. Any other actions?
Nope, that's it for me.
All right. Bran. So Bran has found his way blocked. How urgent was your call, Rathia?
It was urgent and sounding slightly. How do I put this in a graphic kind of way? Concerned.
Okay.
Yeah, he obviously wants him there as soon as he can safely make it.
All right. So he comes streaking around the corner, and then takes a jump across the lava, the narrow gap. But his back foot slips, and he scrabbles a bit, and you just hear a as he takes some damage from the lava. I think he's got 40. One second. So yeah, he comes streaking towards you, but takes some damage on the way. And coincidentally, the dogs are on the same, pretty much same initiative. So out of the pit leap 3 huge dogs. They're bigger than Bran, in fact. They're more like ponies in size. They are billowing mist again, bright red eyes. You can't quite see their flesh easily, but it looks like furry flesh, like a normal dog's skin. But what isn't normal is that they have 6 tentacles floating behind them, and they kind of use them to propel themselves out of the pit. And they all 3 leap out onto the ground, skid in the dirt, and look around at whoever's nearest. That is the end of their turn. They just use their full movement to arrive, but they're now standing there, one glaring at Harathia, one glaring at Smita, and one glaring at Alithia currently. Harathia, it's your turn.
All right. He's going to step between it and Bran.
Okay.
And he's going to shout, "Come here, you ugly motherfuckers!" And he's not just doing that to the one nearest him. He's doing that to all of them. And he's going to draw his sword, the bone sword, obviously.
All right.
There's something else I'm going to do. Do I need? I can put it in.
Yeah, just send it to me in chat. So as you pull out this this sword, you can see the bone has holes all the way down the blade, and currently there's one nearest the handle which has got spikes going into it, and is just a dark, another dark pit of black mist pouring out and coming from the edges of the blade as well. But you hear a gleeful roar inside your head as the sword gets ready to strike. So you sent me a message. Yeah, okay, cool. No worries.
And obviously I'm going to attack this dog in front of me.
Alright, roll to hit.
I don't know if you can hear the sound effects of that, but anyway, it's 19.
You hit easily. The dog, having arrived, scrabbles around a bit in the dirt, and it looks a bit slow and almost sleepy, like it just woke up. And you strike cleanly. Roll damage. Thanks for the numbering, Mr. Harris. That's super helpful. They're not actually Forgotten Tribe, but
I know.
I like the token.
I am slightly regretting numbering at least beyond 2 right now.
Yeah. What was that? Sorry, Hirathi?
Well, I rolled really badly, but I mean, it's not going to sound that bad, of course. Sorry. 12. No, 11, sorry. 11 points.
11, okay. The dog yelps. It does damage it. There doesn't seem to be anything special about it, as you haven't broken through to flesh and blood yet, but you didn't have any trouble hitting it. Any movement or further actions?
All right, so I move slightly to put myself in between it and Bran.
Yep.
Is there any? I suppose there isn't any indication what the others are doing after my sort of challenge to them.
What the dogs are doing? Actually, roll intimidation at disadvantage, because you didn't use your whole action to try and get them to come your way. So we'll use a sort of role-playing thing.
Uh, 19.
19. Yeah, they do all turn their head towards you. You're not quite sure if you've succeeded in getting them to attack you instead of anyone else, but they certainly have looked in your direction. Whereas when they arrived, they were looking at the nearest prey.
All right. In which case, I'm going to edge slightly around clockwise of the one that's nearest to me.
Okay.
And I'll give a significant look at Bran.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
He's got it. Yeah.
Yeah, fine.
I mean, it would help with the intimidation if you got into melee range with the second one, which you can do by just moving like there, a bit further over, like there. I don't know if that's something you want to do.
Yeah, I mean, I sort of want to be in melee range with the dogs, but not particularly with the glowing-eyed sort of shadowy woman thing.
So the glowing-eyed shadowy woman thing is currently 10 foot up in the air. So you're not in melee range, just due to the height, and also the isosceles triangle thing.
Well, Ratha's quite tall, and he's got a very long sword. But yes, I take your point. Okay, fine.
That is true.
I'll be in melee range of both. That's fine, because that way, Alethea is, well, possibly protected in some way, shape, or form.
All right, cool. Samita?
Samita will look up at this enormous creature and attempt to cast her invisibility spell on herself.
Okay. So
Dex.
yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, sorry.
5.
It's with I don't know whether you added this last time. It's with the spellcasting modifier as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that does change things a bit.
Yeah.
That will make it So Dex plus my spellcasting modifier.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
okay, so that will make it. Let's still make it just 9 because I rolled a 3.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, so specifically for casting spells, you get your spellcasting modifier as well, because
Okay.
You've discovered it in your practice that you don't have to hit the exact same casting vocals that you would normally. You can modify them slightly as long as it still manipulates the magic, so you can use that.
Okay, so my action goes fails. Poof. Then I will attempt, because I didn't cast a spell with my main action, can I attempt to cast my healing word, which is a bonus action?
Yes.
On myself.
So you're not rolling at disadvantage anymore. It's just a normal roll.
Okay. That will make an 18 total.
18. All right, that is a success. Healing word on yourself.
Yes.
Okay. So go ahead and roll.
That will be 1d4 plus my spellcasting ability modifier, which makes for 3 on the die. Yes. Okay, so 7. And then... she's going to take a run straight. She runs essentially straight at Alethea, but then tries to get past her. At least 5 feet away from the lava, but up north on the map.
You are in melee range of number 3 dog.
Yes, she's aware, but she has a distinct feeling that it's going to get worse if she stays to plead forgiveness.
Right. It takes a bite at you. That's not, I think that's definitely a fail. I have so many text files open now. Especially when you took out the javelin, I was like, oh, there's another text file I've got to open.
I didn't even know what the javelin does. I've only used it twice.
I know. 11 on Samita.
Okay, so it does not hit, thankfully.
So the jaws snap close by your shoulder as you run, and you can just feel the heat of fire from its mouth.
Okay, good decision.
Where do you want to go?
Can I get past Alethea without going into melee range with number 2?
Yeah, I would say Alethea's quite small, so are you. So you can easily pass.
So I'll dash past and just go my full movement northward, as long as I stay at least 1 square away from the lava.
Like there?
Yeah.
That's 30.
Yeah, pretty much. She's not really looking for a destination, more just to get away from the immediate biting of her face.
Okay, just be aware, it goes both ways, so it's good and bad. You're now obscured, partially. So sometimes, depending on what you try and do, you might not be able to see a target. And of course, it means that they can't see you very easily either.
Okay. That's the end of my turn, thank you.
Cool.
I'll send you one quick more Discord message.
No worries. All right, Baha he was holding if a target had arrived, so he should have already had an attack. Another text file. Hang on. This is where I regret setting up this fight like this. Okay. So that's a 13, which I think just hits on one of the dogs. Yes. So Baha hits a 13, which does actually hit the number 3 dog.
Does it do anything though?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what does he shoot? He just shoots it with an arrow.
He is shooting an arrow. So there's a and the arrow flies from his bow, strikes the dog. The dog haunch shifts under the impact. It yelps and takes damage. Not a lot of damage, but some. Baha's turn. Ooh, that's definitely a hit. Same dog. Another yelp and another arrow. Alithia, your turn.
The sound. Did it sound like it was? Did it sound antagonistic, that wail, or did it sound like actually sad?
Roll insight.
Okay. Hold on, that's a 9.
As soon as the sound hit you, it was painful, and there were some weird sensations going on that you think have something to do with necromancy. So you were so busy thinking about that by the time the sound ended, you couldn't really recall in enough detail to say.
Okay. I'm going to do something really dumb, and I'm going to, well, first off, I'm going to try and get out of this general area where I am and scooch behind dog 2 so that I am going in a northwest direction.
Okay.
My full distance, yeah.
You want to flank, basically?
No, I don't want. I want to go my full distance.
Oh, sorry, yep. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
Oh, no, not that. Yeah,
35.
30. No, 30.
Okay.
Yeah. So I want to be a bit far away. And am I 60 feet away within 60 feet away from the shadowy thing?
You are within 60 feet of everything on the board currently.
Perfect. So if I want to say something to influence it, do I still get my action?
If you just want to speak, it depends what you're trying to do. I'm kind of a bit looser with the role-playing side of it. So if you...
So
it depends what you're trying to do.
Fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and reason with it. And I am going to... But I will be quite cautious, and I will ready a sacred flame in case of any funny business. So I'll say, "Are you really sad? Is there something we can do to help? Is it bad over there in the shadowy bit?"
So the same message to you as I gave to Samita. Be aware that it's harder to see certain things through the trees. You have a gap here, and you can see through this palm tree. So, and also the woman is currently floating in midair, and by the way, is larger than normal size. So you can see her, but you might have difficulty later with other things. She immediately rotates in midair. And looks down in your direction, and you can see the eyes glow a deeper colour, like a purple, but there's no answer.
Do I feel anything from her?
No.
Okay. Well, I'll just wait. If she tries to... So what I'm trying to do is if she tries to hurt anyone, or she kind of does the same sort of necromantic damage, I will sacred flame her ass.
All right. Okay. As the fight continues, the ground is continuing to tremble, and you all see out of the corner of your eye another flash of red. There is something hurtling in your direction. Adalbert, it is now your turn.
I am kind of... Essentially, Adalbert feels slightly safer on the other side of the fiery lava pit to everyone else. So he's going to potentially back up half his movement towards the trees, saying to Baha kind of provide cover, then get to cover. Ooh, can I go north, please?
Sure.
The way everyone's going. Just before I get into the tree cover, I am going to cast Guiding Bolt on the glowing necromantic demon thing.
Okay.
Oh! A natural 20.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
What does Guiding Bolt do? Remind me.
So a flash of light streaks towards the creature. On a hit, they take 4d6 radiant damage, and the next person who attack them has advantage.
Okay. So roll damage.
So this is 86.
Bloody hell, that's quite good.
So
stuff.
yeah, doubling. You can either choose to roll twice, or you can double what you roll. But you need to tell me before you. Roll.
I'll roll twice.
Okay.
So I roll 8 times. Just more dice rolling. It's fun.
Jeevers, creepers.
4, 8, 11, 15, 18, 23, 29, 34 points of radiant damage.
How much?
34?
So she is vulnerable to radiant damage.
Necromantic.
What you mean?
Yes.
She has is that the opposite of resistance?
Yeah, so
So
damage
it's
is doubled.
Jeevers.
So it's 68 points of damage.
Boom.
68 was it?
Yes,
Yeah.
altogether.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
D&D. Every now and again, you just get these like what?
All right. When she arrived, she had this thick, non-corporeal black mist form that seemed to be pulling shadow from the pit that had turned up. This formed her figure, which was quite solid. But there's a streak of light from across the lava crack and out of the trees as Adalbert backs off and calls to Baha. And her entire form is lit up with a brilliant white light. And you can see the white light is kind of cracking through her form in tendrils that are collapsing into the center of her body and her face. So this black form is now black and white and permanently, and very easy to spot. Whoever attacks next will have advantage. And she starts sinking back towards the pit slowly, although it's not her turn. So
Come back.
And then can I use the rest of my movement to just kind of back slightly into the woods? So I'm slightly obscured, please.
yes, you can. So you're just moving. So you could go a full 35. Is it? You're moving right?
30, I believe.
30. Okay. So you can go about here if you want to.
Yes, please.
That was a lot of damage. Oh my
And
goodness.
a lot of else.
That's an insane amount of damage in one round. Bloody hell.
It's not a turn, but this has no effect on you. But you do hear another wail of not exactly sadness, but more pain coming from her as she shudders with these white tendrils sort of sticking through her body.
I'm a little scared she's not dead after all that damage.
Yeah, she's still alive. Here's her turn. Wow, so she's just taken a massive amount of damage from Adalbert, and Alithia asked her a question. In these circumstances, roll persuasion, Alithia.
No, I'm so bad at this. I don't
This
have
is
any
your moment.
inspiration either. Wait, do I have inspiration?
I don't know.
I do not. I do not.
Curses, chat. Couldn't you just...
I know. No, I was just
What's the point of giving her inspiration for Rathia? He's just going to waste.
Yeah, sorry. It reminds me what inspiration does, because I'm holding on to a couple of them.
Gives you advantage.
Thanks, Crash Cat. That was just in time.
Oh, thank you. I'm not sure if that'll help. Inspiration is just DA, right?
No, it's advantage.
Advantage.
Okay, good, because that was a 2 minus 2, which is a 0.
Oh my god. Now you got to roll again, though.
Yeah, I know. Come on.
Thanks, Swant.
That's so much better. That was an 18. Thank you. Mwah! So 18 minus 2 is 16.
All right. A sense of confusion comes to all of you. And as you get this sensation, you realize that to an extent you're all connected to this black mist now. And she seems to be a dominant force in this area for that. She's just very badly damaged, but she also had this question. You hear something, Alithia. Well, you all hear her reply. As she speaks with a kind of whispering sound formed of mist coming out and air being expelled, although she has no mouth or lungs. Unfortunately, it's a language you don't understand. So you just hear an answer, but it's hard to tell what she said. But roll insight, everyone.
Oh, that's a natural 20.
Me too.
Yeah.
25.
Oh, I'm not that high. I'm only 23.
8. And I'm quite good at insight.
18.
Okay. Harathia, are you...
Yeah, I am actually. I mean, I got an 18 as it happens. I'm not
Okay.
proud of it, but
All right, everyone apart from Samar realizes that she actually asked some form of question. It seemed to be directed at you, Alithia, but you don't know what she said because you don't understand the language.
Can I kind of use your action to see if I recognise the language base?
Yes.
At least, if I don't know the language, at least where it's coming from.
Yeah.
What would that be?
Roll history.
History, agreed. 18.
Oh, only 18.
I have a good modifier to history.
You think that the language is a very old form of the corruption language that you've started to come across regularly, but this is a dialect or pronunciation that you're not familiar with.
Just when we thought we were going to be smiting something, we suddenly have reason not to kill it now.
I didn't hear a reason not to kill it.
No.
All right.
I mean, why else do you need a chaos child?
Yeah, exactly. Thanks again, Crash Cat. That was
Yeah, thank you
clutch
so much.
inspiration. Although I have now forgotten whose turn it is. Oh, it was her turn, wasn't it?
Yeah.
She decided she would answer. She's still going to... She's not going to do that. She's going to do this other thing. So, Harathia, as you're backing off and... Not backing off, you wouldn't back off. As you stand solidly in front of these two dogs that have now turned their attention to you, you sense out of the corner of your eye that something is moving, and you glance down, and the mist that is pouring out of this hole in the ground, the entire disc of mist moves in your direction, and it seems like she's forcefully moving it towards you. It doesn't move very far. It only moves sort of enough to cover you in it. It's getting a bit crazy here, but you are now enveloped completely, and nobody else can see you. I will send you a brief message in Discord. The crack in the ground does not move. It's simply this enormous amount of mist that appears to be underneath her.
Just a question. Does having a blazing sword help me see?
I will send you a quick message.
That quick message is no.
You see, if this were like a big show, we would be like, this message is brought to you by.
Message is brought to you by certain death.
All right. That was her turn. After her is Zamar.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I have absolutely no idea what to do. Do I those dogs or whatever, are they aggressively, do they look like they're about to attack? I tell you what, I am going to, if the dogs move to attack anybody, so first of all I'm going to hide, bonus action, and then just behind the tree, so I'm going to like keep an eye out from behind the tree, yeah? Ta-da. That's wounded, thank you. That's better, thank you. Little keyhole. So I'm going to hide and then hold an action to throw one of my daggers at her if the dogs attack.
You're going to hold an action to throw a dagger at the woman if a dog attacks.
Correct.
Okay.
So
Just
I'm
wanted to make sure I understood what you said.
Yeah, because I can't see what she's attacking because she could be slurping Rathia's brains out for all I know. Hopefully. I mean, not.
That would be a very light snack.
Brilliant, brilliant. Yeah,
that's not fair, but it's funny.
No, but it was a cheap gag and it was funny.
Yes, very cheap. All right,
Yeah, no.
Bran, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yeah, he can easily flank. So he goes into flanking and all-out attack. Go for it, Bran. We believe in you. So bite.
With your rolling.
Yeah, that's actually easily a hit. So the bite attack is successful. Oh, he's got a special thingy. Yeah, so two enormous creatures are fighting. Ooh, that's interesting. As part of his bite, he lunges forwards and uses his full weight to push paws and head down, wrestling this dog onto the ground, and succeeds. This dog is now prone on the ground because it failed its saving throw.
Over on.
I actually need different dice. I'm just going to get the dice that Mads got me. Nice gold D6s. Which I can't show to the camera because that never works, but they're nice and heavy. So.
That's a lot of D6s.
wasn't. It was just 2, but they're made of metal, so
Oh.
it sounds like a lot.
Yeah.
So that's quite a nice amount of damage just from the bite. Ron's doing quite well. So that's 3. Okay. And so the massive bite knocks them prone, and then claw attack. Oh no, that's the wrong creature. That's Brian's attack done. Although he did have advantage, I missed that. But anyway, he's done well.
He's a good boy.
Yeah. So you now have advantage against dog number 1, Harathia. So Brian is done. Now it's the dog's turn. So dog number 1 was prone. Unfortunately, he's going to flip back up. He's going to use half his movement to stand back up again. And all its tendrils are going to attack Harathia. So 4 tendrils come flying towards you, Harathia. And it hits 18, 20, 25, and 19.
Sorry, what was the third one?
19.
No, that wasn't. That was the fourth one.
Oh, third one. 25 or something.
Yeah, well, let's for the sake of argument call those 4 hits.
Okay, just for argument's sake.
Yeah.
Okay, you take... That would be unfair. That's a D10.
Ooh.
Oh my god. Simon's disappeared. He's dived off, chasing after his dice.
I was using the wrong dice. You don't want that. 13... 25 points of piercing damage.
In total?
Yeah.
Dear.
Harathia really doesn't get on with animals. First it was the crows, now it's the dogs.
He's sort of shrugging. He expected worse, you know.
I don't know, that would squish me.
Yep.
He looks quite sanguine about it, really. He wouldn't use that word, of course, but...
I like that. He's bloody, so he's sanguine.
Brilliant.
Sorry, I got that. I did that wrong. Sorry. It's getting late. I'm getting sleepy.
Literally 42 points of damage.
What is that?
Yeah.
And you have vulnerabilities, that's 84 points.
No, you take no damage. The tendrils do not do any damage. They grapple you. Yeah, so you are now grappled. Instead, it pulls you closer with the tendrils and then does a single attack. So I'll do that, which is where the damage comes.
Is it a contest with my strength or not? Is that
when it hits, you are grappled. You can then try and escape afterwards. Okay. So on your turn, you can try and escape, but it's got 4 on you, so you'd have to do 4. So it's actually doing a bite attack, which is for some reason I rolled well for this attack. So that's a 25 or something. That's when you take the damage, which is 10 piercing. However, you do take fire damage from its mouth as it bites you. So you take another 8.
So 10 piercing.
10 piercing, 8 fire damage. Sorry, that's the total damage from that all-out attack. But you are grappled by 4 tentacles at this point.
Right, and practically speaking, it means I can't go places, but I can still I can still swing a sword or stab or something.
Yeah, so on your own you can't free yourself because you can't do 4 grapple attempt escapes at the same time. You'd have to do 1 at a time, which would take ages. Alright, so that's 1. So Zamar is not visible. Smita is obscured. So is Alithia. Smita and Alithia both roll a luck dice.
Just a d20.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Oh dear.
16.
1.
1.
Oh, no.
May I ask, didn't this one turn to Harathia with his intimidation attempt?
It did. It did. Unfortunately, it wasn't intimidated.
Oh no.
It did pay some attention.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Okay.
So it comes charging through the undergrowth towards you, Alithia, and you can just see this giant jaw heading in your direction with flames pouring out of the side of its mouth, and these tendrils rising up, and all tendril attacks on you. Wow. So the lowest, I got 20 as well. The lowest is 19 AC.
Yeah, that hits.
So all 4 tendrils are on you.
Surprisingly.
So you're grappled as well, and then the bite.
No, Dewey!
It underestimated how small you are, and having wrapped all the tendrils around, it sort of bites forward and then realises the only way it can bite you from that angle is by biting itself through the tendrils, so it doesn't, and completely whiffs on the actual attack.
Can I pat its nose and say, "Good doggy"?
Sure. Roll persuasion, just because I enjoy making you do it.
Oh no!
The next
That's
time you go
not
up,
fun. It's 11.
11.
Yeah.
That's not bad, but you just get a panting of like steam and fire from its mouth, and you don't scald your hand, but it's very hot, and you sort of instinctively pull your hand back out of the fire.
But did I get a pat in?
Next time you go up a level, you need to like get a feat in persuasion or something.
But it's so fun.
It's excruciating.
Right. Okay. So, Kevin, I don't know. Is that for the future?
Well, it could have applied already because he's inspired, but I didn't know it myself until I just read it again.
Oh, okay. Just like effective word as well. The creature can roll that die and choose a target effective word as well.
Yeah, because I can inspire pretty much anything.
Okay. Do you want to explain that to Matt, because my brain is suffering?
Oh,
Inspire.
sure. I mean, Matt, I just sent you an explanation of one of my abilities relating to the inspiration you have.
Okay.
Let me know if it's not clear. But essentially, it should help you even when just dealing damage or healing. So.
So have the dogs finished attacking it?
No, there's 3 of them.
Oh, shit.
Just going to go for Bran.
Simon, I have something to say, actually. A bit slow, but number 2 dog, I was within melee range of it, and if it's run over to Alithia, I should get an attack of opportunity.
That is true. You did move into melee range. So, yeah, roll to hit.
Ah,
Sorry, I'm a bit slow tonight.
No, me too.
that's
don't worry.
tactics. Nice one.
Ow.
Oh, that was worthwhile. That was a natural 1.
Oh no.
All right. Yeah, the movement of the dog was so sudden. It was kind of glaring at you for a bit as well, so you were surprised when it shot off. So you just kind of slice through the air over the back as it heads off. As you do so, how much damage did you take just now from that last attack on you?
Let's see. You said 10 piercing and 8 fire.
Okay, so the first hole on your sword is now filled with a blood red flame.
How many holes do I have in my sword?
6.
Okay. You know, another character would be a bit more curious about that. Okay, fine.
It is worth writing down, though. I'll put it down on my thing as well, but I may well forget.
Strange flamey hole thing has filled up, says Horathia.
Okay. So, just quickly do the tendrils. There's 2 misses. So all the tendrils miss Bran.
Wow.
And I think even that bite might miss. It's favouritism on the side of the DM. It's terrible.
Waiting on tenterhooks here.
I know, sorry.
That's fine.
Yeah. So the dog comes pounding up to Bran, and these tendrils flail around, and Bran just jigs and dives and ducks and snaps back at the dog and succeeds in dodging everything. And Bran just raises an eyebrow and then looks over in your direction, Horathia, but he can't see you. So he would exchange glances if he could. All right. So, Horathia, it's your turn.
It's not
But with that,
reaction.
Right. I'm going to send you a
Holding my
message or
attack.
two.
I was holding my attack. If the dog's attacked,
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Oh, yes, good point. Yeah. All right, roll to hit.
and you have
Advantage,
advantage, Chris.
yes, exactly. I know. I am hidden, but also yes, with advantage. So yeah. Okay, which is good because that was an absolutely awful roll. This one is better though, so that's good. Okay, so this is so I'm going to throw my silver dagger at it, which because I don't want to use the javelin again, unless I have to. So that is silver dagger. That would be a 19.
19. So, unfortunately, while your strike is true, the dagger goes straight through and comes out the other side in an arc and lands down on the ground somewhere close to Horathia.
Okay. I then duck back behind the tree and hide again then.
Okay.
Like the coward that I am.
Like guacamole. Whoop, whoop.
That's the day, Mark.
Okay. So that was reaction on dog's turn. So Horathia, your turn.
Okay, so I've got a couple of questions coming your way.
Yeah, you don't know the answer to the first question.
No, I haven't typed it yet. I'll just.
Yeah.
Okay. So second message coming your way.
You just hear a laugh in your head. It sounds like a positive laugh.
All right. Well, Yeah, I don't want to make of that. But okay, so he's going to attack the dog first because he's flanking with Bran, and Bran's getting attacked by another one. I don't like that at all.
Okay.
So let's go for that dog. Okay, that looks very positive. So 25.
Ooh, yes, that's easily a hit. Basically, as the dog is fighting with you and holding you with these tendrils, you just reach forward and smash down on his face. The dog can't actually go very far because it's holding you so closely.
So it's not quicker rolling real dice, I have to say. Okay, it's much better. 17.
17 damage.
What's the damage? Yeah.
Nice against that one. So okay. As you strike cleanly against his head, you are cutting directly down on its skull, the blade cleaving through the fur and the muscle, and you just sort of catch it briefly at the end of the of the attack, and there's a flash from the flame that had gathered in this hole with the spikes. You wouldn't have killed it, but a sudden burst of energy from inside the blade itself drives the sword even further through, and you just keep relentlessly pushing down until the sword is into the ground and the head is in two pieces. There's a pool of fire that sort of wafts away from the corpse and then dies away, and just black mist which is gradually settling as the corpse lies still.
Cool.
And
Nice.
that is where we'll
Killed a puppy!
end the session.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Nice and dramatic.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh,
There's a lot going
I
on
feel
there.
like
Yeah.
I feel like this needs a content warning. Oh my god!
In what way?
Time to put the skull on the final little doggy.
Good point. Yeah, just the last thing that we do.
Oh my god! I know, Lachas, I agree. Like,
What?
you know,
Do you think we should be kind to these dogs?
Oh yeah.
they're dogs. Yeah, they're fluffy.
They're
not like,
flaming
you know-
hellhounds.
With
Yeah.
with four shadowy tentacles and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They can't help the way they look.
This is true. You're not getting much of a sensation of animal or beast, though, Alithia, from these creatures.
Oh, am I not?
No.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
Um,
I'm less fussed about that then. Am I
You-
getting more of a monster?
Yeah, they have a form that is recognisable, but the nature of them is distinctly alien to this world.
Yeah, I know, but like, do you think it could be a dog? Ah!
Oh my god.
Oh, amazing.
That's
Thank you for the
Monty.
inspiration.
Nice session on Sunday, by the way. That was cool.
But Monty's just given Rathia inspiration. Thank you very much.
Third one, right?
I'll add it. So I got 3 of those now.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
I'm
Nice.
gonna use them. Don't worry. I'm saving them up.
It's JJ, isn't it? Monty.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
just
it's Nicola.
putting names to.
Cool. Well, thank you very
So,
much.
Rathia doing what JJ imagines he can do.
Smack stuff really hard.
Yeah.
Oh
All right,
my
cool.
God.
Oh yeah. Well, that was exhausting.
Mm.
Absolutely.
But fun.
There's going to be more of that next
Killed.
week.
Yeah.
Oh
If
my
you
God,
enjoyed that
I'm,
fight,
like,
please
shocked.
follow and subscribe. Sorry, what's that, Maz?
We killed some puppies.
Puppies,
They
are
were
not.
fully grown, in fact, to a massive scale.
I should,
They were
I should
small
point
horses.
out that at this moment there is only one puppy. is dead. The other two remain still solidly on their feet for the time being.
One has 2 arrows in it, fortunately.
It's true.
So I draw the line at kittens. I don't think I go that far.
No, he drowns kittens.
That should be a question for the Q&A session we're about to have. Where do you draw the line, kittens?
I mean, we know it's not children.
And folks, if you're not quite sure what that refers to, you need to watch some other earlier episodes. Yeah.
Oh dear. Well, that was exhausting.
All right. Well, we now come to the section of the session where I ask questions of the players. Feel free to put questions in chat if you have any, and I will ask them on your behalf. I hope you enjoyed the beginning of an intense battle. We'll see how much there is left next week. I need to open my Q&A. Another text file. Yay. I think I have a record today. All right. First question for Kevin. Samita looked very unhappy after her first public attempt to speak. How does she feel now?
I think still unhappy, but interestingly, I think also resolved, especially right now in this combat, which is not necessarily what she would have been feeling if this had happened even a day ago, before everything with her tongue. But now, rather than being overwhelmed by all the craziness, this is just kind of fitting in with the experience of being with the Ruined Keep so far.
It's amazing how people adapt, isn't it?
Yeah. It's interesting. This is by far not the worst thing that's happened to her, which is unhappy. But yeah, she is resolved. But I think decidedly there's an undercurrent of unhappiness and discontent. As I mentioned last week, she's still very much struggling with the fact that she has such trouble speaking right now.
Question for Matt. Hrathia keeps loading more and more important problems for Adalbert to fix. How does he feel about
that? I think, as I touched on at the end of last week in the questions, I was kind of beginning to worry that the expectations they have are unrealistic. For example, being hoisted in the air and mass curing 40,000, or mass anti-corrupting 40,000 warriors. I think there's a fine line between Adalbert's kind of egotistical arrogance and actually his awareness of his capabilities. And I think he's going to continue to do his best, but it's like, I think he's dug himself into a hole, really. And that's Matt speaking. He's dug himself into a hole where, he's telling everyone he's so wonderful, and then they go, okay, can you do this? And he's like, yeah. So we shall see.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. Question for Mads. Alithia expended a lot of effort enriching the land, and it garnered some praise from the group. How important is that to her?
The praise from the group was really unexpected, because her experiences with the group thus far is that she does everything wrong. Like, Olivia, wrong. So, that has just, kind of turned things. I mean, not necessarily from Adalbert, because Adalbert is, her bestie, and her bestie is so kind and supportive, even when, she's being an absolute fool. But the fact that Zaymar was that's good. She's like, what? Is this an alternate dimension? What?
Yes, I think we're all a little bit surprised.
I know. I think it wasn't done to be important, but the fact that it happened was important. There we go.
Question for Mr. Roberts. How impressed was Horatia at Alithia's ability to feed the whole village?
Well, there's probably some part of him that was impressed, but he was pretty focused on other things. So he wanted to get off to Rogerton, and she was slowing him down. So, yes. So, I mean, I don't know. Did you get any praise from Matthew? I'm not sure.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, speaking personally, I apologize for that, but he was really wanting to get off, and it was sort of, he was focused on the delay rather than this amazing thing that Lithia did for the village. So there's probably something in there that is slowly percolating to say that was really cool, but it hasn't quite reached his cerebral cortex yet.
Yeah. And a follow-up question from Lachasse for you. If kittens are too far, what about bunnies?
Oh no, bunny's a fair game. I mean,
who'd have known?
Besides, has no one ever seen Monty Python's Holy Grail? You can't trust bunny.
It's so dangerous.
They're nasty, pointy teeth.
Question for Mr. Harris. Zamar seemed perfectly happy giving up his jeweled sword for the greater good. Does he not value such things?
How can I put this? Short answer is no. Jeweled sword, no. He's not really interested in that. He actually didn't, he could have easily sold it ages ago, but it's just been sitting in his quarters as this sort of, I don't know, kind of souvenir of a previous adventure, I guess. And more as a reminder to him for reasons. So yeah, Zane was a bit of a complicated character, and none of which I can generally share. But yeah, so let's just say that a jeweled sword does not interest him in any way. So if he thought that, offering up these gems and things or whatever, he's not really. It doesn't really. It doesn't really interest him in that sort of respect. He's quite fond of money, but that's because you can buy things with it. But a jeweled sword is just whatever it is, in the eye of the beholder, I guess. Something to trade for. But this thing, he kept around the jeweled sword mostly as a kind of reminder to himself as the sort of trouble that Horatia can get him into. Let's just say it was a bit of a wake-up call how he acquired that jeweled sword. So.
All right. Question for Kevin. What would make Rhaena stay in Trillon rather than returning to the Empress Court?
If Trillon became the heart of a new empire?
Uh-oh, that means Horatia's at the...
Give me time.
Yeah, if Horatia becomes the ruler of a kingdom and she sees a future for herself and in her capacity in the way that she's good, then she would stay. But it's a fairly remote scenario, and it all depends on her getting her ability to speak back, because if that doesn't come back, it's hard to tell where she'll go.
All right. Question for Matt. How does Adalbert feel now the sun has come out?
I mean, it came with it a giant pool of corruption and mist. So, that side's not so great, you must say. But on the other side, I mean, natural sunlight is only going to do wonders for his, visage. Imagine kind of cold, wet light on your face, and then sunlight beaming down, shining up complexion. I mean, that red hair is going to be flaming on its own. I mean, oh.
And then straight after you'll be sunburned.
Most likely.
All right. Question for Mads. Does Alithia still believe the mist is innocent? it's corruption that turns people to do bad things.
Oh. Did I say that before?
Yeah.
That was insightful.
I did. I remember because it rings a bell. Yeah, because it's not because the mist has like entered animals and things like that, and it's been part of the plants, and it just is. Yeah, I remember saying this. It just is. It's like, rain can be. It just is. It can be great. It can be terrible. Yeah, I remember that. I mean, she hasn't seen anything to the contrary. It's yes, there has been mist around the creatures and things like that, but it's not, I don't know. I feel like every time we've attacked, which is why I tried to change tactics a little bit, every time we've attacked, especially when it's animals and things like that, and we've got into a fight, we've attacked first. Or we've been places that we shouldn't be. And we would do the same thing. Like, if something comes into your territory, you're going to say, "Out, get." So, yeah. I'm still ambivalent about it. Equivocal. That's probably a better word. Don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question from Mr. Roberts. I'm going to sneak one in from Lachasse, although it didn't ask directly. Emperor Horatia, yay or nay?
Oh, yay.
Okay. That's an equivocal yes. Another question. Rogerton was pretty brutal for Zaymar, but Horatia did okay there. What was he most worried about before arriving?
Well, he wasn't expecting a Spanish Inquisition. No, sorry, I'm still in Monty Python mode here. He wasn't expecting, cracks of lava radiating out from Rogerton and all that sort of stuff. So, what was he expecting? I don't know. He's not sort of. Prathir worries about what's in front of him, so he's not very focused on the situation in hand. But he doesn't spend tons of energy trying to work out what's going to face them when they get somewhere. So, he was expecting, mist. He was possibly expecting shadowy figures. He might have been expecting mind-controlled stuff. But it's obviously ratcheted up a notch. And his experience since he learned of magic and all this sort of stuff is sort of a bit bewildering almost. All this stuff can happen that he'd never even dreamt of, and the world was telling him was not real. Suddenly is real. So what's the point of trying to predict what's going to happen? What's going to face them when they get to this corrupted magical place?
Yeah.
He was thinking about.
We just missed the last bit. Just the last.
Well, there
phrase.
are so many variables that it's almost not worth thinking about.
Yeah. All right. Question for Mr. Harris. Which does Zaymar prefer? Too hot or too cold?
Too hot, I would say. He's really not fond of the cold whatsoever. He hates the cold. That's why he likes Trillin. Trillin is his sort of adopted home, so to speak, and he's quite comfortable in its. Unlike most people, he's very comfortable in its like oppressive heat and humidity. So yeah, he's actually he rather likes it, Trillin.
All right,
but he wouldn't say so.
Final question for the evening for Kevin. Travelling by Astravi is not very elegant. Strapped to a stinking flying humanoid. Does Rayna mind if it's practical?
No, I don't think so. I think she is the definition of practical in that sense. That she would, if she'd had to travel with any of the people that she usually hangs around with, she would have been disgusted. But here, she doesn't need that pretense, so she was able to, just let it go. And yes, we're flying. That's much better. Thank you. And that was it.
All right, fair enough. Final question for Matt. Another day stepping through the jungle. Adalbert rarely complains to the group. What might tip him over?
I think too long without sleep, without a decent meal, and he's beginning to get frustrated. But I think as well, what would tip him over kind of trekking through the jungle is, well, if they don't acknowledge how amazing he's been at like tackling all their foes. He may suffer through the jungle, but as long as he's recognised for being the saint he is for doing so, it's fine.
All right. Final question for Mads. What's better than a flower crown?
There are things that are better.
I don't know.
Or left it.
I just wanted to ask.
I don't think there is. Like, flower crowns are awesome. It's a sign of like royalty and regality, regalness. It is beautiful. It changes like to match your outfit. It's fashionable. It smells nice amongst regalosity. Yeah, there we go. It smells nice amongst like the filth of people and the stench of the sea and the smelliness of the Astravi. And sometimes you can eat stuff on it as well. Like, what is there not to like?
It's true. Totally agree. Question for Mr. Roberts. Harathia, sunbathing, yes or no?
Point. Honestly, no.
All right. Final question for Mr. Harris.
Wait, why not?
Right? Why not sunbathe?
Yeah.
Why would you do that? What's the point?
To like against the sun be like, no, you can't burn me.
Like,
Challenge the sun.
To rail against the sun like King Canute against the
You
sea.
just have to tell him that it stores up energy like a solar panel.
Harathia might do those sort of things, but he doesn't do them on purpose, if you see what I mean, to be sort of deliberately, I don't know, what's the word, quixotic? Quixotic, that's the word, isn't it?
Ah, yeah, quixotic, yeah. All right, final question for the evening, and the final question for the session. Has Zaymar ever rolled dice, played cards, or gambled for money?
Yes. He's
Interesting.
done that a lot. Yes, he's done that a lot, but only to get as part of a role. So yeah, he's been playing a role while he's done it. He's not. He can be quite good at it, but he tries to cheat basically at every available opportunity because he's on the roll, right? So yeah, but yeah, he doesn't see the point in gambling or anything like that. It's just too risky. It's much easier to just go and take what you want, probably.
Yeah.
So yeah, but only as a role.
Okay, fair enough. All right, that's all the questions for the evening. I hope you enjoyed the session. We'll be continuing the combat next week. We'll pick up where we left off at the same time, Tuesday, 8 p.m. British summertime.
No time.
Any shout-outs from you, Mads?
I've not had a chance to like think about this.
That's right.
So, just because I've been like hopelessly today. So, as always, thank you to all our lovely viewers. You guys make it so much more fun. It just kind of brings another level to it. And thank you to our wonderful friends from Tales of Idea. You should go check them out in their story on Sundays at 5 p.m. BST and 6 p.m. CET. And what's the Pacific and Central Time?
6 p.m. CST -6 and -9. So
Okay.
in that direction,
I think it's 9 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah,
somewhere,
12
yeah.
and 9. So 9
Yeah.
a.m. and 12 p.m. Yeah, they're awesome. They're so much fun. I love watching them.
Thank you.
And you should really check them out. And, you can see how amazing they are in the chat. Like, we had JJ and we had Barnack.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you should really watch them. And we've got, obviously, our wonderful Kevin, who's DM. Thank you to all of the lovely people in Twitter who are just so nice, and it's just really fun, and it's just like so pleasant. So thank you to all of them, and then all the people on the Hope for TTRPG Discord. And have I forgotten anyone? I don't know. Thank you.
No, that sounds pretty good.
But don't forget to subscribe to the Ruin Keep to find out next week if a crack of flowing lava appears directly under us as it comes whistling towards us, because that's what the beginning of the session is going to be. It's like, and everybody start the session, and that's what we'll be getting. A large crack appears underneath you, you all fall in.
I really hope that we can adopt one of these dogs.
Oh my god.
That's kind of they're quite different outcomes, aren't they? Adopt a dog, get hit by a crack of lava. Yeah.
And then we can ride it. It's like
Oh
a
my
pony.
Yeah, you have to get there before Rather brutally spays them.
And on that note, we will end the session. Thanks again for watching, and
Thank you.
we'll see you next week. Bye.